Hey everyone, today we'll be talking on String Builder, and it's a particularly useful class to know about in comparative programming because if you have a lot of string manipulations to do, then String Builder is very good at additions, removals, and reversing strings. Also, in case you need to output a lot of material in the contest, you can actually append to the String Builder all the results and output them just once. So I/O operations are expensive, and that's where String Builders can help you out. So what we're going to be doing is looking at some of the operations that you can perform in string builders, trying to understand why string builders are good compared to strings in some scenarios. And finally, we'll be solving a codechef problem on string manipulations. So constructing a string builder is simple enough. You can use the default constructor. You can also pass in a string of anything that you like, and that'll initialize the string builder to this string object. Now, the important thing to notice here is that if you have a string, let's say 123, and you say x plus x, that doesn't change the value of x at all. It just appends x to an x and gives you a completely different result. So in fact, the operation of reverse also doesn't change the internal state of x. Excuse me. If I if I output x here, that'll still print 1 2 3. So I can have a look at that. Yeah, it's 1 2 3. On the other hand, if I output this result, then it should give me something different. It should give me 0 2 3 actually. Yeah, that's what we are getting. So we see that strings are immutable. X has its internal state changed never. So I just spoke some Yoda there, but the internal state of X never changes. But sometimes we do need the strings to be manipulated, and that's where string builders are useful. So if we do the same thing here, if we append, let's say, a space, and then we append on a string, and now we output it, then we should have codechef problems on the console. Yeah, right. So apart from append, which always adds to the end of the string builder, we can also insert into any place that we want. So if I say insert, and if I specify where to insert the string, then that's what it'll do. And so this should have code problem chef now. So interestingly, inserting is not an inefficient operation. This is actually a very efficient operation in string builder. If we look at the documentation, deep down somewhere, they explain why it's efficient, and how you can just use it without thinking too much. Another thing you can do is you can remove a substring from the string builder. You just need to specify the start and end index of the string. So I'm going to be removing 9 characters, and we should get codechef back. If we don't, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is that delete works. Oh, 9. So this is 4 plus 9 actually. Yeah, we'll get it back. Interestingly, you can also reverse a string builder. And yeah, well, it's a pretty simple thing. It reverses the string. Right, and that's pretty much it. We can now move on to the codechef problem. So the codechef problem is actually quite simple. It says, here's a string, And there are two kinds of queries you can perform on it. One is to insert at index I the string x, so I and x is given to you. The other one is to print the substring starting from I of length l or len, and then basically you just print out all the second types of queries. So quite simple for string builder. Yeah, the input is q and next q lines. Okay, so let's do this. Firstly, we need to read in the input, so I have something for that. Buffer reader should do the job. I could use fast IO here, but it doesn't really make much sense. There's right how to, yeah, right, and we have the integer q which we are going to be using. Now there are two types of queries we can have. So there's plus and question mark. So if it's a plus, then we add to the string x. Oh, in fact, the input is right here. So why don't we split it on spaces? So this is a little more string manipulation. Again, nothing affects the string. It gives you an array with all the strings split by space. So to clarify, plus I and x will come to you separately now. So you'll have an array of size 3. If the first index equals plus, if the first string equals plus, then we need to append. Otherwise, we need to print something out. So second one was okay. I is already defined, so let's call that start. And oh, x is also already defined, so let's call it y. Terrible naming, but yeah, it's a contest, so I forgive myself. And I think it's pretty similar in the next one also. Yeah, there's I and len, so we can call this start and length of the substring. Here it's the substring. So yeah, what do we need to do? We need a string builder over here. In fact, yeah, the string builder was placed in the right position. So whenever we have a string builder operation to perform, we're just going to do string builder.insert for the plus. Start is the index where we need to add this substring, and that's it. Let's just confirm that it's 0 based index. Yeah, it's 0 based index. On the other hand, if we need to print something, then we can take the substring, yeah, start and the end, so that will be start plus end. right? So what we could do is we can output this directly, but the number of queries might be huge, so that won't be very wise. Let's take this output, yeah, substring. I'll just zoom out a little bit to, or I could close this, yeah. So we are going to be taking this substring and we are going to be storing it in another string builder. So we can say this is going to be called the output string builder, and every time we need to print something, we are actually going to be going to the output string builder. We're going to be appending this substring, and that's pretty much it. Interesting thing in string builder is that of course you append only what you want to, but more often than not you're printing on new lines the result, so be careful. Remember that you need to print a new line also at the end of it. And yeah, that's, I think, the final thing to do is just output string builder. This should do the job. I'll have a look at the sample input. Okay, output is ACB and ACDDB. Right. Let's have a look. Ah, didn't work at all. Why would that happen? Well, firstly, the plus could be creating an issue if it's a plus. Then we take the first one, we take the second one, which is string. We are inserting a string into that. Okay, that seems correct. Mistake here. So this should work now. So I'd put x of 1, it should be x of 2 in length. String builder is out of range. That's interesting. Is the zero based indexing on the start? We use one indexing in this problem. Oh, okay. Okay, they've specified that. I don't know how I didn't see that. So one indexing in this problem means that all indexes need to be subtracted by 1 for our solution to work. Now what? It says that index is out of range. That is odd. A -1. Oh, okay. So what we really need is one based indexing for the second kind of query, and the first kind of query, that's where I got confused, is that if they say 0, it's at the beginning of the string. So in fact we don't need this for the first kind of query. So let's just try it now. It's almost completely a trial and error at this point, but it's starting to make some sense. One based indexing. So AC and ACDD, which is also wrong. Why wasn't B appended in the end? That's pretty odd, because B should have been appended in the end. Or am I appending it wrongly? Oh, okay, I get it. It's 0 based now, but we need this substring to have the start from the starting index, and the ending index is exclusive. So that's a bug. And finally, this should work. Yeah, ACB and ACDDB. That's what codechef is asking us. Okay, right. Remove the package name, set this to main, set the compiler to Java, and yeah, this should do the job. There's always a small prayer. Right, and so the solution works. Interesting. In fact, if you have a look at the editorial for this problem, it suggests that the problem is of medium difficulty, and you need to learn about segment trees and strings to actually get the solution. But string builder worked for me. This shows you the power of using good library functions. They can simplify problem solving tremendously. And so that's pretty much it about string builders. Best of luck for your next contest. I'll see you around.